control our mind. Do you know we generally see them as superior, right? If we generally see them as superior, it's because the information we receive, it is engineered by them to make us feel low, because they need to control us. The only way they can control us is to make us feel inferior. Today, if you pay close attention, you're going to know that on African doctors, if you open a surgery next to European doctors, most Africans are going to think the European doctor is better. While they're both qualified, they both wrote the exam, you understand? So it is because they control our mind that we have the impression.
But the question is, all these European doctors, African doctors you are talking about, that they feel that European...
No, the Africans feel like...
the African doctors feel that European people are better than them. But how do they become the doctor in the first place?
Good.
How do they become that doctor? It's because they have access to this, whatever so-called civilization, colonialism by the African people.
How do you know?
Even you yourself, you are able to handle this camera. You are able to speak English right now because you have to go through what we call the process of this colonialism. You go to school, they brought the school to us, they brought the book you read, you understand? All the information you are having, you can't have them if there is no this kind of...
Let me answer you on that.
One thing we have to realize as an African, whether we like it or not, this colonialism, I don't know how it's going to be eradicated. That's number one. And as time goes on, maybe Africa will get to a point, at some point whereby we will say, okay, we've taken over, we are free. You understand what I'm saying? But somehow, some way, indirectly, we still subject to this colonialism.
Directly.
Somehow.
But I wanna clarify. Okay, you wanna take that?
No.
You can take it.
Don't worry.
Okay. Now I wanna clarify your point about so-called civilization and stuff. Europeans are not the origin of modern medicine. For your information, modern medicine, the father of modern medicine is in Iran. Iranians are not white people. They like Arabs. You understand? Now, that means modern medicine, the father of modern medicine started in Iran. So if the European copied modern medicine from Europe, why do you think this thing is copyrighted Europeans? Today you see Japanese with doctors, you see whatever. You can see, for example, cars look almost alike. You understand? You can see that many navies, people in the army, the navies, they almost dress alike around the world. So until you trace who own the copyright of those things, you cannot attribute them to Europeans. We're learning them because anybody that has access to that knowledge can learn it. Just like the European got access to books. Now they're making books, but you can't say because Chinese created books, European must worship it. This camera is a Japanese camera. It's not a European. I bought it because it was on sale. What it means is the human being has the right to buy what is on sale. It does not make me the one buying it less.
Let me give you one example. iPhone is being manufactured in China. Are you telling me that iPhone is being owned by Chinese?
No,
it's not. You understand what I'm saying?
iPhone is intellectual property on American company.
Exactly, that's how it is. You see, that's the information that you got. Somebody feed you with all this information. That okay, the camera you see is being invented by Chinese people, right? But let me tell
not
you,
Chinese, American,
Japanese. Let me tell you, but the whole, how can I say, the whole concept behind it, before Chinese now got into production of all things, if you find out very correctly, there is something that has to do with Europeans.
Okay, but let me tell you,
most of the technology that you see even today is being copied. China copied majority of this technology.
Okay, but
not that it's invented by them or originated by them. Most of them are even copied.
But I gave you fact that guns, books, explosives are Chinese invention. European recognize it. So if European copied those key inventions that changed the world, why don't you think they copied the cameras from whatever? Let me take an example. Japanese created CD, DVDs. That's the invention of Japanese.
Let me tell you, those are the information that you got from somewhere. You get what I'm saying? Some people feed you with us in information, but you can also yourself guarantee the source of the information that you got.
I guaranteed it. You know why I guaranteed it?
Yes.
Why I guaranteed it? Because the Organization of Intellectual Properties have records that a Japanese company registered this the patent of DVD creation, for example. You understand? It's clear. You can find the records. and then you can go and read from, because with the internet today, Japanese put information on internet, Chinese put, everybody put information on internet. So you can go to each source, you can contrast the information, you can even go to international organization where everybody put their records there. So you can trace. So I found out that DVD, for example, is Japanese who invented, but today the European created it. And if you go deep, you're gonna see that in 1430, when the Europeans started arriving in Africa, none of the modern things here was here. There was no electricity in 1430. There was no aeroplanes. There was no tarmac. There was no tar road. There was none of the modern
But
things.
they got to Africa somehow, right?
Let me tell you, they got to,
how did they get to Africa?
I can answer you.
Yeah.
They got to Africa with navigating using Chinese compass. Chinese, you can Google it. Chinese compass. They use guns to conquer, which is Chinese invention. You can find that out. That means they came to Africa using foreign technology. Even the big boats of that time, they learned it to build it from Chinese. Now,
you see, this source of information you're giving me, I'm not agree with it.
Just double check it.
I'm not agree with that.
Just double check it. Let me go to another point.
No.
Let me go to a quick point. Today, you can see that Chinese, Japanese, North Koreans are manufacturing all the technological goods that the Europeans make, and they don't bow to Europeans. You got a point. Those products, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Iranians owns, the intellectual property is theirs. What it means is it is out of their own intelligence. You got the point. So what it means is there is no justification for Europeans to dominate us, because they have not transferred the technology to us. We are only consuming. We can tell them, okay, we won't buy your product. We're gonna buy Asian products, and we don't want to have any tie with you. Actually, we're gonna put sanction on you. We're gonna ban you entry into our countries. We're gonna ban your product into our countries, and we blacklist you because you are dominating us and you're keeping us backward. So we can do that, for example.
You know what?
Yeah.
That can never happen, and you and me know it. You can't sanction. You can't sanction an European.
Why not?
You can't sanction European
Why
out
not?
of your economy.
Why not?
Let me tell you, there are so many things you have to put into consideration.
Okay.
Let me tell you what some Africans is surviving on today, right now, today as we speak. It has to do with all these European countries.
Like what?
You have to do African country that, for instance, Nigeria.
Yeah.
They have crude oil. Where do you think they sell it to?
Okay.
And the money they are making out of it, where do you think? How do you think they survive?
The microphone is fine. Can you send it?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just?
So
sorry, can you just stand a bit there? Yeah. The microphone is fine.
You see, the only thing is that the economic power of country like Nigeria today is in that petroleum. If US is not buying from them, who would they sell it to?
Okay, can I answer you on that?
Yes.
Can I answer that? China today is the largest consumer of oil in the world. The largest consumer it has a 1 point something billion people, is the largest consumer of oil, and then is continually looking for new place to buy things. India is, for example, one of the largest consumer of oil. You have Africa itself consuming oil, because we have cars here, we have whatever. You have Latin America, you have the whole world. The market, even if you follow today, war in the Middle East, they talk about Islamic State or the ISIL, they're even selling oil on the black market. Despite the fact that they are classified a terrorist organization by most of the world, but they're selling oil in the black market. Selling oil, it's not the only market is not the USA, EU.
Let me tell you, this black market you are talking about, is there a crude oil they are selling at black market?
Yeah, it's crude oil. Based on the information I got from RT. RT is Russia Today. Russia Today is the international news. I got from Press TV.
And let me tell you, this black market you are talking about, or crude oil, where do you think they are selling them to?
Sorry?
Where do you think they are selling? So you have to get the fact right.
No, but
you see, some of this crude oil they are selling on black market. Where do you think it goes?
Sorry, can you just keep the
you get what I'm saying? Where do you think it's going to? There is a place
but you have to. You and me must get the fact. You don't have evidence is going to the Europeans. The point here is if there is a map. I just took the example of the Islamic State, but I told you that China, Japan does not have oil production in Japan. South Korea have oil production, North Korea. So there's a lot of countries that's gonna buy that oil For your information, and for your information, Nigeria get about 10 to 13% of its own oil, and the Europeans get the rest, 87 up to 90% of the oil. What it means is the oil is not even Nigerians; it's theirs. They're just giving.
Why do you think that happened?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. That means we right now are really not benefiting out of our natural resources.
Exactly.
That means we can tell the Europeans. I tell you, we can tell the Europeans we don't wanna.
But we can't do without them. That's one thing I want you to know.
Let me give you the evidence.
You can't liberate yourself from all these European countries and
can I give?
America. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
An average African today, when you go to all these European countries or America,
Yeah, you can just stay in one space here.
They have a relative in there somehow, some way.
Okay.
Who are making a living in there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somewhere as an African.
Yeah.
You know, even America today that we're talking today, is being dominated by what we call African American people. So why do you think,
African American were just crying? I've been crying lately, continually about them being killed like animals there, about racism. But people who dominate
we are in Africa. Is that not happening here in
Sorry?
Africa that we
Sorry?
are? What you are complaining is
spoke-
not happening in Africa that we are right
You
now.
spoke about African American dominating there. I showed you evidence that they are oppressed there.
If you're saying they are oppressed there, but in Africa are they not oppressed? Listen, in Africa themselves, we are in Africa.
We are colonized.
Are we not oppressed?
We are colonized.
So what is colonialism?
Colonized is oppression.
Exactly. So what are we not talking about?
Okay, good.
So if they are able to oppress us in our own land,
Yeah.
so how much more of being in their own soil?
Just relax, because you say they are dominating. The reason I said they are being killed is because you said African Americans are dominating in America. I just wanted to prove you that they are not dominating. But speaking about we can't do without them. Just give me a few minutes. I just want to clarify to you that it is fiction when some Africans think we can't do without them. That is mental conditioning they do to us to keep us within them. Let me give you a fact here. Europeans have stolen our economies.
Get me right.
Now let me just give you facts.
If I say we can't do without them.
Sorry, no, you
and
try,
they can't do without us.
No,
You see, this is the word, and the whole word is being linked together.
You are trying to hamper me giving ideas that's going to advance us. You must be keen not to see us advancing, not to see us below other human beings. These are human beings. They're not gods. If they can build progress, any human being can build progress.
Yes.
Now I have the idea of how we can break free from them. So trying to